Let me try something else. Hold on. Let's do this. How's that?
That's better.
Is it? No? Yes?
Okay, there we go. I can hear that.
Okay. Well, anyway, as I lost my train of thought, but no. The point I was going to make, Coach, is even though it has been pretty disappointing as a season, when we get to the sectionals, who knows? Because it looks like now with the Canton-Potsdam tie last night, a 3-3 tie, it looks like Massena will be at Potsdam, and of course, they've defeated Potsdam twice this year. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, they have confidence with the two W's coming over to the Sandstoners this year. And as I said, in a one-game series, anything is possible. But right now, I'm sure the Raiders are focusing on this first period. And that's one of the keys here tonight, Jerry. I'm sure the coaching staff told them first 5 minutes, his staff, and they're primed. They think they can go all the way this year.
Okay, here we go. David Rogers into the face-off circle against Matt Harrison. And we're underway. Danny Miller. It's dumped off his stick into the Massena zone. Raiders look to clear. Can't do it. The puck rolls right in. And the save is made. Is that, who is that? We say in there?
I'm trying to pick up the number.
Nope. No, it's going to be Leroy.
Is it Leroy?
Yep.
Leroy coming in with a 3.79 goals against average and an .876 save percentage.
Off the face-off. Bono back to the point, comes out of the zone, so delay offsides. Raiders will pick up the puck and move it from D to D and look to move it ahead. Adam Smith steps by the check, can't quite get it out of the zone, but following up on the play, here comes Massena D, and they'll dump it deep. That was Pat Horan doing a good job for the Raiders. Back in the Shen zone, the puck in the corner, picked up by the Plainsmen. They lift it high in the air. Out to center ice where it's picked up by Evan Labarge. He'll flip it ahead to the Shen line. Bouncing around at the red line, dumped in the Massena zone. That'll go all the way back for icing. And the faceoff will move back inside Shenendehowa territory. Just underway here on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. There is no score. 14-13 left in the first period. First game went to Seton Catholic in double overtime. 3-2 over St. Joseph Buffalo.
And it keys this defense for Shenendehowa is number 2, Patch Alder.
Off the face-off, puck back to the blue line, kept in by Miller. He'll dump it in the corner. After it is Ryan Edson. Edson flips it over on the other side as they try to move it out. Here comes Shenendehowa. They got the long headman pass meant for O'Brien, and he must have touched it. They waved the icing off. Puck in the corner. Whitcup throws a check, takes the puck, moves it ahead of the blue line. Raiders bank it out to center ice. Back to the Massena line. Whitcup's there. Headman pass, Danny Miller. Here's Miller across the blue line. Winds up. Good kick save made by goaltender Tim Chera. So the Raiders with a good opportunity there. But now here comes Shenendehowa. They've got a 2-on-none right now. Here's the shot. It goes in behind the net as the puck's centered and covered up by Leroy Swamp. And breaking down on the right side was Ben Giannetti, and I guess maybe got a little bit too deep before he got the shot off.
Well, the puck bounced on him at the last second. He couldn't control it, but blink of an eyelash shows you the speed of this club. At 1 second, the puck is inside the Shenendehowa defensive zone. Next second, it's a 2-on-none breakaway.
Off the face-off, Kyle Cameron with a puck from Massena from the red line, just slides it in the zone. Zepi Ogene gets knocked down. The puck bounces in behind the net. Picked up and flipped around the boards by the defenseman. Whitcup steps in, bangs it behind to Slade. He bounces it right on. And another save made by Tim Chera. And he'll hold on for the faceoff.
Tim Chera, not number 1 on the depth chart, Jerry. Probably maybe number 3. They carry the 3 goaltenders. He's getting the start tonight. And tomorrow night it's going to be Greg Hitchko that will get the call. Or tomorrow afternoon, I should say.
Faceoff, Slade for Massena. Wins the draw, or tries to, but it's tied up in the circle. It bounces around, picked up by Eddie Slade, poke checked away, goes in the corner. Moving it around, it's Brader. Brader gets tied up by Slade and Zepi Ogene. Ogene digging for it. It finally squirts behind the net to Brian Hunter. He'll rip it around the boards to the blue line, kept in at the point by Labarge. Deflected back in the corner. Massena's going to make a line change. Pretty good effort by that line. And here comes Shenendehowa. Brader can't catch up with a pass. Horan flips it ahead. It's deflected right back in Shen territory where Hunter picks it up. Rogers pokes it away from him for Massena. David Rogers in the circle. Centers it in front. Nobody could put a stick on it. It comes to Trent Thomas. He slides it in the middle, but it's blocked by Brader. Raider with the puck behind the net. He'll flip it on the right side. Here comes Shen. They're going to try to Hail Mary pass, but no, it's knocked down. Massena back the other way. It's Horan again, and he'll flip it in behind the net. Picked up on the D by Patch Albert. Albert loses. Here's David Rogers back to the point. Horan, he'll just flip it in the corner. Albert's there, and he'll just dump it, and it'll roll all the way down the ice. Looks like it's going to come in on, no, it's not. It's going to be an icing call. Looked like it was going to roll in on Swamp, but it doesn't, and the whistle blows.
First 3 minutes, minus 5 seconds of this first period bode well for the Raiders. They've had some pressure on the Plainsmen, and the play is 95% of it has been down in Shenendehowa end.
Out comes A.J. Tubolino with his line mate Sean Petrie and Jeremy Hadler. Petrie with a puck poked away, lost his edge. Hadler picks it up. He's got some room. He fired it up over the net. He was all by himself and just missed the net. Back to the point, kept in by Miller. Here's Danny Miller trying to skate by the check. He does. Here's Miller in the circle, backhand shot, rebound. Where is the puck? It's underneath the goalie as Chera makes another good save and a good effort by Danny Miller.
First, Hadler, who had a great opportunity, didn't realize he had so much time and so much space, and hurried a shot, didn't look up and fired it over the top of the net. Then Danny Miller, working the puck off the half boards, walked right out and got a great backhand and a great rebound, but couldn't beat the goaltender.
Off the faceoff, Hadler fires it wide. Puck goes back to the point. Whitcup, a quick snapshot, knocked down. Comes back to Whitcup at the point, can't keep it in. Here's Tubolino. Flipping it ahead, O'Brien takes it across, offsides. Late whistle on that one, but they do make the call. Jimmy Howard, the official, makes the call, and the faceoff will come outside the Massena zone.
Shenendehowa wearing their road uniforms, primarily dark green, trimmed with white and gray, green helmets, green socks, and green and white pants.
Off the faceoff, puck right on Swamp. They try to hit O'Brien breaking in on the left side, but it goes in on Swamp, and he'll cover up and hold on for the faceoff. 11:31 left first period. No score, Shen and Massena. And they have that right on their shirts. Did you notice that? Shen. Off the draw, puck in the circle. Comes in behind the net, O'Brien. Oh, nice centering pass back to the point. The shot. Swamp makes the save. He's out of the net, but he has it underneath him and holds on for the faceoff. And now some pushing and shoving after the whistle. I think we're going to have matching minors. We'll see.
One thing that Coach De La Rocca said that they're not very physical. They haven't been into a lot of physical games this year, and he doesn't know how they react in a physical game. So
they should have been here Wednesday night.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
One thing Massena should note is that number 27, Sean O'Brien, possesses a ton of speed, and they've got to keep an eye on him.
Off the faceoff, puck in the corner. Trying to come up with it. Alan Borden behind the net, off a leg. Comes to Adam Smith. He looks to move it out right side. Headman pass a little bit too far. It's intercepted there. It goes to Albert. Albert to the Massena line. Flipped ahead. Trent Thomas, he'll just dump it deep in Shen territory. Steered aside by Chera, the goalie. Defensively, it's Shen picking it up, and they'll start it out. Here comes a 2-on-1. Caruso's got Harding with him. Flips to Harding, busting in. He lost his edge or was sprawling for the puck. He'll have to dump it behind the net. Comes around the boards to Thomas. Thomas lost it in the skate. It's poked ahead. Raiders Rogers. Nice move to get it out of the zone. Here comes Rogers down the right sideline. He's going to flip it into the zone. It'll be steered aside by Chera again in the corner. Trent Thomas trying to come up with it. Can't get to it. Bounces back to the blue line. Flipped back into the corner by Sean Petrie. Picked up by the Shen defense as they look to move it ahead. It goes to the neutral zone, off the board just barely. Tubolino picks up the loose puck. Here's Tubolino. His pass knocked down, then backhanded back into the Shen zone. Albert picks it up, flips it high in the air to the Massena line, where Evan Labarge has it and moves it out to center ice. Here's Tubolino looking to headman. He's going to go a little bit too hard, and the icing will be called. He tried to hit Hadler breaking down the left side, but the whistle blows for icing.
One of the keys to the Raiders in tonight's game plan, don't give up that early goal. That's I'm sure that was written in
stone
in the locker room. Don't give up that early goal, whatever you do.
Off the faceoff, here's Edson from the point, through traffic, hits the back of the net, and it's into the corner. Swamp had a piece of it but couldn't cover it. Goes back to the point again. Here's a shot. This time Leroy will put the glove on it and hold on for the faceoff.
And I'm sure one other thing that another key is the special teams of both the power play and the penalty killing. They have kind of been a weakness for the Raiders all year, and that's got to improve for them to improve.
Harrison the face-off against Tubolino. Here's a shot off the draw. Goes wide in the corner. Petrie picks it up, circles back, bounces it around on the other side of Hadler. Hadler, nice bounce pass. Miller breaks it out of the zone, trying to hit Petrie, but it's intercepted by Murphy. Dumps back to the Massena line, right back out to the neutral zone. Here comes Petrie. Petrie breaks in. He's got Hadler over, skated it. And the puck is picked up by the back checker and taken behind the net. That's Ryan Murphy. He'll flip it to the blue line and out to center ice. Here comes Harrison with Hitchko. Harrison breaks in on Whitcup. Harrison's shot, fired it wide. Puck bounces right in front of the net. Petrie bounce pass to Tubolino. Or Miller, rather. Here comes Miller, kicking it by one. He's knocked off the puck by Harrison, and it's picked up by Hitchko. Back comes Shenendehowa. To the blue line. Did they get it out of the zone? They did not. Bounces in again. Moore circles back. Picks up a forechecker. Almost threw it away. Comes back to the blue line. O'Brien is there. Here comes O'Brien. His pass intercepted. To the Shen line, right back to the Massena line. O'Brien, he'll drop it back to Buono. Buono's headman pass into the Massena zone. It goes in, bouncing into the corner. Trying to center it. Whitcup throws a check. The puck comes free. Rogers out to center ice. Alber's there. He'll flip it right back inside Massena territory. Whitcup lost it. Side of the net. Gets it back again. Looks to flip it on the wing. Ahead it goes Trent Thomas. His pass doesn't clear the zone. It's dumped back into the corner by Shenendehowa. And it goes to Rogers behind the net. He banks it to the point. Alber's shot. Deflected right. A rebound. Just wide. And the puck goes into the corner again. Flip behind the net. Picked up there by the Raider D. They try to clear. Shen putting some pressure on. We got delay penalty on Shen, though. And as soon as they touch the puck, the whistle will blow. And we're going to have a slashing call going against Carl, I believe.
Great opportunity for Shenendehowa. Ben Giannetti parked right in front, number 15. Albert took the shot from the point. Swamp made the save. The rebound came right out to Giannetti, and he had two whacks at it. And the second one he fired wide.
8:05 left in the first period. No score on the IceHawk custom screen printing scoreboard. Massena Shenendehowa.
Raiders 2 for 33 at a booming 6% in the last 8 games on the power play.
Oh, that hurts.
Ooh,
they gave up a shorty against Salmon, too. Here comes Hadler. He'll dump it in behind the net. Picked up there by Hunter for Shen. Smith throws a check. Trent Thomas picks up the puck. Here's Thomas. Center. Oh, Tubolino fired it just wide. And I mean, it was inches. Back to the blue line. Miller keeps it in. He's got room. He skates it to the middle. Dumps it. Bounces wide off a leg into the corner. Tubolino throws a check. Takes a whack at it. Helping is Smith, and he'll poke check at the Hadler in the corner. Here's Hadler with it. Behind the net. Trying to go in the other corner. Hunter's going to get to it, though. Flip it ahead to the blue line and out to center ice. Danny Miller's there. Here's Miller. Back into his own zone. Turns it around. Then flips it ahead for Smith. Smith trying to poke it to Tubolino, but it doesn't get there. Picked up by the Plainsmen. They'll dump it down the ice. All the way back in the Massena zone as both teams making changes here. Raiders with a good opportunity early in that power play.
Well, that was a super opportunity. Right about 20 feet out in that slot area, A.J. Tubolino.
Okay, off the play, the puck comes back to Alber. He flips it high in the air. Eddie Slade has it poked away. Here comes Caruso, but he can't quite catch up with the puck. And Rogers comes back with it. 10 seconds left in the man advantage. Here comes Rogers for Massena. Winds up and dumps it deep. Takes a funny bounce, but it's cleared back out to the neutral zone. Whitcup turning it around at the red line. He'll dump to an open wing. Carl out of the penalty box. Goes by one defenseman. Here's the shot. The save made. Rebound cleared into the corner by Whitcup. Whitcup takes it behind the net now. He'll pass it on the other side. Alan Borden. Borden loses it. It comes to the circle. Here's Carl's shot knocked down in front. The rebound goes into the corner. Caruso couldn't put a stick on it because Whitcup had him tied up. Whitcup wins the battle. Nice job. Makes a good move. Almost threw the puck away. Comes back to the blue line. Here's a shot. And the save made by Swamp, and he's going to cover up. As Massena running around a little bit, Shen putting some pressure on.
And a wise move by Leroy as he realized the closest players around him were wearing green shirts. Two of them, there wasn't a white shirt around, and he was able to corral that long shot. Gave up a little rebound, but was able to jump out on his belly and tuck it away. Smart move by Leroy Swamp.
Carl against Tubolino inside Massena territory. And they're going to toss Tubolino. Kyle Cameron will take the face-off. He wins the draw. Raiders in behind the net. Whitcup flips it along the boards. Zepi Ogene can't clear it, but it's going to come to Evan Labarge. He'll just bank it out to center ice. Kick back in the zone. Labarge again. He steps by a forechecker, dumps it ahead. Zepiogene, he'll backhand it deep in Shen territory. Stop behind the net by Chera, leaves it for Edson. Edson picking up a forechecker. Kyle Cameron poked it free, but the Plainsman will pick it up and move it out to center ice. Back after it is Danny Miller. Miller at his own blue line, flips it ahead, off the boards to Zepiogene. Ogene trying to hit Tubolino, but it's intercepted, bouncing around at the red line. Shen controls, they back around with it, try to move it ahead. Left side, Janetti will just dump it in the zone as they want to change. Puck in behind the net, Evan Labard skates out of his zone. Headman pass meant for Zepiogene at the red line. He gets double teamed. Puck squirts free. Picked up by Tubolino. Here's Tubolino, takes it across, winds up the drive, fired it in behind the net. Alber's there to pick it up for the Plainsmen. Patch Alber looking, flips it ahead, it's blocked at the blue line. Evan Labarge crosses. Here's Labarge trying to barge his way through. Ooh, do you like that? Labarge barging his way through, but it's out to center ice. Dumped back in the zone by Rogers. Still 0-0 with 4:48 left in the first period. To the blue line, out to center ice, knocked away by Trent Thomas. Poked away from him, into the zone comes Harrison. A mini 2-on-1, the shot, the save made by Swamp, and the puck goes in the corner. Here comes Danny Miller. Miller's going to build up the head of steam. Here comes Miller down the left side, takes it toward the middle. He's tripped up. The puck slides free. Smith tries to fire it. It goes wide. Dumped by Trent Thomas into the circle, but back out toward the blue line. Kept in by Maxwell momentarily. Right back comes Moore the other way. In the Massena zone, cuts across the middle, but Smith is there to steal the puck. He'll break back the other way. His pass knocked down. Bouncing around, Harrison turns it around and dumps it deep in Massena territory. In behind the net it goes. Picked up by Ian Maxwell. Clears it to the blue line, but not out. Dumped back in the corner, comes to Maxwell again. He'll flip it around behind the net. Alan Borden. Borden steps by the check and moves it out to center ice. Rogers gets it and dumps it from the red line. It gets knocked down for his efforts. Here comes the Plainsman's Ryan Edson. Edson's going to carry it to the blue line, to the red line. He'll bank it ahead to the Massena zone. Maxwell trying to catch up with it now. Borden skates in, pokes it away into the corner. Petrie comes after it, can't come up with it. Shen controls in the corner, Massena zone, back to the point, Bono flips it around the boards. It'll come all the way to Hadler on the other side. Here's Hadler, a head man. Petrie, poke checked away, but Hadler follows. Flips it to Petrie to Tubolino, steps by a check, gets hauled down. Where's the hold? They got it. Jimmy Howard calls the hold, and the Raiders will go on the power play. 3:18 left in the first period. 0-0 our score.
Ryan Edson's going to be called for the penalty as he hauled down A.J. Tubolino just at the blue line as Tubolino had the speed on him, and Edson pulled him down, and the Raiders back on the power play. Some good opportunities both ends. The only negative I see so far, Jerry, for the Raiders are giving up a lot of odd-man rushes here in this first, a lot of 2-on-1s. Can't do that.
Yeah, because eventually they're going to put it in the net.
Yeah.
Holding the call on Edson. And here comes Massena out of their own zone. Headman knocked away, bouncing around. Alber's there, flipping it ahead, then it's stolen away by Eddie Slade. He'll backhand it deep inside Shen territory. The clearing pass is knocked down by Rogers. Back to the point. Into the corner it goes. Back to the point, and it's flipped to the other corner, but it's going to be intercepted, not quite. Comes back. Here's a chance. Here's Slade in front, centers it. The goalie got a piece. Labarge, a shot. He fired it up over the net. Got to keep them down. Here's Slade. Slade steps to the dot. He's got the shot. The puck sits side of the net. Petrie was too tied up, couldn't get a stick on it, and the puck will be cleared down the ice by Shenendehowa. Raiders come within an eyelash of scoring. Can't do it, though, and the puck comes all the way around the boards, and it's picked up by Tubolino. Tubolino across the red line. He'll dump it deep in Shen territory. Trent Thomas racing in after it. About 23 seconds left of the man advantage. Thomas steps by a check. Here's Thomas, has it poked away, bouncing in the corner. Danny Miller's there. Miller gets tied up, can't get it. Patch Alber's there. He gets knocked down. It comes to Miller again. Here's Miller, flipping it behind the net. There's a check. The puck dumped. Does it get out of the zone? It did not. Here's Miller. We have a whistle. I guess apparently did get out of the zone. Offside's the call.
I'll tell you, Adam Smith has railed both of those. That's Patch Alder is one. He's going to the bench on the same shift. He nailed Alder behind the net. He's having trouble getting there. And then after he hit Quist Buno, he flattened him, both of them. And Alder, their number one defenseman, is just having all kinds of problems getting to the bench. But a tremendous check behind the net by Smith. And then he flattened Buno.
Here comes Massena's Tubolino. Takes it across. stops at the circle, has it knocked away, gets it back again, flips to Miller. Miller winds the shot, and the save made. Puck bouncing around in the corner, picked up by Trent Thomas. Penalties elapsed. Raiders come close but don't score. Got to keep those shots low to the ice.
Oh, definitely.
Here's Tubolino. Back to Thomas. Quick snapshot. Glove save, bouncing around, and he's got it. No, it goes into the corner. Picked up there on the defense, and it's flipped out to center ice. Here comes a breakaway for Bobby Carl. Carl steps in, shot, fired it over the net. Raiders catch a huge break right there. Tubolino out to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's Hunter with it. His centering pass. Here's a backhander behind the net. It'll come to Slade. He banks it behind the net. Hits the side of the net. They got a man free in front. It bounces around. And where is it? It's in behind the net. Bounces in front, and Leroy covers it up and holds on for the face-off. Whoa.
Tremendous action, tremendous excitement at both ends of the net, and both clubs guilty of shooting woes. The Raiders, I don't know how many times this year, if I had a nickel for every time that they walk down from the defense and then put the puck 2 feet over the top of the net. It's going 100 miles an hour, but you got to get the puck in the net. You got to get it low.
At least they're shooting.
At least they're shooting. That's a good point. And back at the other end, a breakaway after the Raiders putting all kinds of pressure. Shenendehowa gets a guy behind. He walks right in and shoots it over the top of the net.
Off the face-off. Puck controlled by the Raiders in their own end. Flip into the corner. Bouncing around in behind the net. It'll be Rogers with it. He'll rip it around the boards. Murphy stops it at the blue line. Fakes the shot. Dumps it to the 45. They battle for it right along the boards. Oh, there's a blind side. That should have been a penalty, shouldn't it?
I agree with you, Jerry. On that one, it should have been hitting from behind, whatever.
And finally, the Raiders clear the puck out to center ice. I think he just paid the price. What do you think? Harding just got railed by Rogers. 24 seconds left. Puck lifted high in the air by the Raiders out to center ice. Dumped back in the zone. Delay offsides. Raiders will clear the puck just across the blue line. And here comes Massena's Petrie. He'll bank it off the boards deep. 8 seconds left. Puck inside Shen territory. Shenendehowa is going to play out the clock apparently as they hold the puck behind their own net. And the buzzer sounds. And the Raiders, you got to give them credit, Coach. They played a pretty good first period.
Oh, I think they did.
A message for George Hamill said to say something about the Leafs will not be losing. We don't have to worry about Leafs losses.
This was our year. The Leafs are going to win it this year.
All right, we're underway in the second period. Albert with the puck off the face-off. He's shaking off the result of that check. And the puck dumped deep in Massena territory. Whitcup goes down, lost his edge. Shen feeds it in front. Here's the shot, and hit the side of the net. And Leroy's going to just cover it up and hold on for the face-off.
Oh, Adam Hitchcock just kind of shaking his head. He's that good-looking freshman. And that's one of the brother combinations. His brother will be playing in the pipes tomorrow, Greg Hitchcock. But just a freshman, big left winger, and puck came right out to him at the top of the circle and just couldn't put it away.
He blasted it, but it was just wide. Ended up in the mesh. Here comes Massena clearing it out to center ice. Hadler trying to come up with it. Moves it back to Miller. Miller steps by the check, steps by another check. Winds up the drive right at the goalie. Makes the save, but it was hard.
Oh, Danny Miller, that was hard. That was a scorcher. But again, goaltender Tim Chera going down a little early, but that hit him right where it said Shen, right in the chest area, and you just can't put it through those goaltenders.
And he did not give up a rebound.
No, he didn't.
Face off to the left of goal, or to the right of goaltender Chera. Off the draw, won by Shenendehowa. They're going to try to dump it out of the zone. It bounces off Hadler. It's right in front of the net. Finally, it's cleared back to the blue line. Petrie's there to flip in the corner to Hadler. Hadler throws a check, but the puck is taken away on the Shen defense. They'll move it on the wing and try to break it out to center ice. They don't quite make it. Now, finally, it's off the high off the glass to the Massena line. Whitcup racing for it. Trying to come back for it, has it taken away. Puck side of the net, controlled by Shen, but they misfire on a pass, and Hadler picks up the puck. Headman pass Petrie. Petrie trying to go to Tubolino. Tubolino has it knocked away. Puck bouncing around. Bobby Carl with it. He's got a man breaking. Can they get it to him? Massena gets back, and Miller intercepts. But he was standing all by himself at the blue line, and the Raiders had no idea he was there. Fortunately, Shen didn't either, and he's kind of yanking his stick around trying to get the puck. Now the Raiders try to clear, hit the official with it. Puck goes back in the corner. Miller throws a check. Puck bounces behind the net. Eddie Slade flips it into the corner, gets it back, flips it around on the other side. It'll come to Danny Miller. Miller steps ahead, looks to flip it out, kept in at the point. Now finally, Whitcup will backhand it to the neutral zone. After it is Ryan Hunter. Hunter to Edson. Edson off the glass. Miller will dump it right back in the zone. Raiders are off sides, and they'll have to clear. They're going to make a line change anyway. Here comes Shen to the Massena line. It's intercepted there. And it's dumped back in the Massena zone again. That'll go all the way back into the corner where it's picked up by Pat Horan. Patrick with a puck now on the wing, trying to clear the zone. It bounces to the neutral zone, picked up by Kyle Cameron. Cameron trying to barge his way through. Zepiogene follows, but it's taken away and flipped back to the Massena line. Rogers back there after it. And we're going to have a tripping call on Patrick Horan behind the play. I didn't see it.
Did not either, but Downing Woods calling Patrick Horn for tripping, and Shenendehowa will go on the power play.
12:45 left in the middle period. Coach's Corner scoreboard says 0-0.
Last face-off in the Shen end, Jerry. Shenendehowa had a set play when O'Brien's out there. As soon as the puck is dropped, he just breaks and streaks down that weak side. And if they win the draw, whoever it is, he just fires it down the ice, and it almost connected.
Off the face-off, puck in the Massena zone. Albert with a puck. Shen on the power play. Moore at the 45 goes behind the net, looks for the return, but it's flipped into the corner. Massena reacted a little slowly to that, but did in time. Back to Albert at the point. He'll flip it. Here's Harrison right in front of the net, and it's in Miller's equipment, and he tried to get it out and then flipped it up in the Shen bench.
But the smart thing that Danny did, he had a cradle in his chest, and he started skating. He didn't want to drop it near that net area, so he started skating up the ice before he could free it and knock it up in the bench.
Matt Harrison will take the face-off against Tubolino, wins it back to the point. Murphy shot, deflected right on, save made. The Raiders bump it out to center ice. Albert's there. About a minute left in the man advantage. At the Shen line now, they move it ahead, D to D, and then up. Alan Borden gets a piece of it momentarily. He's got it again, then loses it to Moore. Here's Moore, flipping on the wing. They'll dump it in behind the net. Around the boards, Borden. Moore will stop it about halfway out. He takes it to the top of the circle, cuts in, gets a shot off. Borden blocks it. It slides to the side of the net, and it's covered up by goaltender Leroy Swamp.
Coming into tonight's contest, we talked about the Raiders' inability to score. Not so for the opposition in these last 8 games. They were 9 for 33 on the power play for a whopping 27%. So
Bobby Carl will face off against Adam Smith off the draw. Carl wins it back to the point. It goes to Edson. Edson winds, fakes the shot, and then dumps it in the corner as Hadler went down to block it. Puck controlled by Shen in the corner. They go behind the net. They still have it behind the net. Whitcup now steps in. Back to the point, Edson. Edson fakes a shot. Goes to O'Brien. O'Brien, here's a sharp angle pass in front, the shot. And the save made by Swamp, and he'll hold on for the faceoff.
Oh, boy, Leroy Swamp. I don't know how he made that save off of Brian Hunter, who jumped down from that left point. All the focus was on the right side to the left of Swamp, and Hunter broke down from the left point, was wide open. He was down below the dot, and the pass was there, and somehow Leroy got across and was able to make that big save, his biggest of the night.
Off the faceoff, Tubolino wins the draw, moves it to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Kept in. Here's a shot through traffic in the net. And I think it was deflected in front, and it got by Leroy. A power play goal for Shen, and they lead it 1-0.
I think it'll be Sean O'Brien who will get the goal. The shot came from the point, but I agree with you. It was deflected. It changed directions in front, and O'Brien was hovering in that area. We'll wait and see who the announcement is made, but Leroy had it lined up, but the key was it was a low shot, Jerry. It wasn't 120 miles an hour, 3 feet over the net. It was low on the ice, and those are the kind you can redirect, and they did.
Here comes Massena off the faceoff. Petrie dumps it into the corner. Bono after it there, flips it along the boards to the blue line, not out of the zone. Kept in by Tubolino. Bank puck comes back to the blue line, kept in by Maxwell. He'll dump it. You're right, O'Brien gets the goal. In behind it goes. Hadler steals side of the net, has it poke checked away to the blue line. Kept in Maxwell again, good job. Bouncing around, Petrie in the corner, loses it. Petrie gets it back again, and it's flipped away, and that'll roll all the way down the ice for icing if it crosses the line, which it does, and we'll have a face-off with 10:50 left in the period. It's the second period, a 1-0 Shenendehowa lead on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
That power play goal coming at the 3:35 mark of the second period. Sean O'Brien with Brian Hunter picking up the assist. Hunter took the shot from the point and was redirected right in front by O'Brien.
Off the faceoff, puck goes into the corner. Inside Shen territory on the icing. Bono with it. He'll flip it on the other side. Trent Thomas Thomas tries to dump it in behind. Harrison comes back to help out. He's got it behind the net. Harrison, bounce pass out by the blue line. It just trickles out to center ice. Rogers got a piece of it and dumps it back in the corner. Picked up by Shenendehowa behind the net. They move it on the 45. They don't clear it. Horan keeps it in. Flips it along the boards, then it's knocked to center ice. Right back in the zone it goes. Trent Thomas. Puck goes back in the corner. Cleared by Shen around the boards. Moore, he can't get to it. Kept in by Rogers. Rogers to Smith in the corner. He gets tied up. Rogers comes in to help out, gets the puck. Here's Rogers at the dot. His shot is gloved by Tim Chera.
And Tim Chera looked as cool as the other side of the pillow, as they say on that. That shot coming off the boards on that left side, and a nice shot. He just plucked that baby out of the air just like nothing to it.
Haven't heard that one before.
Oh, that's an old one. They used that one on ESPN. That's an original one.
I like that. Off the faceoff, Raiders have the puck. Cameron gets a weak shot. Rebound, Zepiogene. He fired it wide. Clear to the blue line, out to center ice. Here comes Shen, breaking by the Massena defense. Into the zone they go. Pass right across the goal mouth, but a good job back-checking by Slade. Back to the blue line and out to center ice as Murphy couldn't keep it in. Murphy has to come back to his own blue line. He'll flip it ahead to Edson. Edson, just a little touch pass to the Massena line, but right there is Ian Maxwell banging out to center ice, dumped right back in again. Around behind the net, stopped by Swamp. Maxwell flips on the wing for Kyle Cameron. He just banks it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. Edson will dump it into the other corner. Puck comes back to Zepiogene. Ogene gathers it in. It's knocked away, but the Raiders come up with it, flip it to the blue line, out to center ice. Murphy dumps it right back in. Cross ice pass, Raiders control. Danny Miller down the left side. He's got a head of steam. Here's Miller, and it's swept away at the last second. Good defensive play made there. Now the puck inside the zone. Tubolino in behind the net to Slade back. Tubolino shot, save, rebound, save. Puck clear to the blue line. Handler shot, through traffic, knocked down, bounces in behind the net. The Raiders all around the net, can't put the puck in the net. Hard check thrown by Tubolino. Tubolino's got the puck out by the blue line. Feeds it, Miller shot, score! Tied up at 1.
Captain A.J. Tubolino and Captain Danny Miller teaming up with the inspiration and a lot of drive. And what a check that Tubolino put on Ryan Edson down there. I'll tell you, he lifted him about 3 feet off the ice, got possession of the puck, came along the boards, deep out at the blue line, turned and spotted Miller on the opposite side, down below the dot, put it right on the tape, and Miller one-timed it. Chera got a piece of it. He got a piece of it, but rolled up over the shoulder, and the Raiders have tied it.
And that brings the crowd, gets them alive and into this game, doesn't it?
Well, not only the goal, but a tremendous check by Tubolino. And Jerry, I don't want to forget what a great defensive play. And you mentioned Eddie Slade as he took his check moments before that, as he took O'Brien right back to the net like you should. You take your check to the net, and it looked like O'Brien was going to be sprung free, but a great defensive job by Eddie Slade. And
Coach De La Roca, I don't know what he was jawing about over on the other side, but Jimmy Howard, the veteran official, and I don't think he's worried about it too much. Here comes Hadler, flipping it in the Shen zone. Back out to center ice, knocked down by Miller. Here comes Miller back across the blue line, lost his edge, gets back up again, flips it ahead to Petrie. Petrie takes the puck behind the net, looks to center it. Now Tubolino in after it. Here's AJ in the corner, makes the move, flips it to himself behind the net, steps in front of the net, gets the shot, and the goaltender comes out and covers it up before he could get a shot off. And I'll tell you, the Raiders are playing a little inspired right now.
Tubolino and Miller are playing possessed out there, and I got an idea what the Shen coach was yelling about. I'm sure it was the check that Tubolino put on number 4, Edson, down along the boards. He thought maybe he was charging, whatever, but it was a clean check.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Face off left side in the Shen zone. Puck in the circle. Raiders trying to come up with it. It's in front of the net, clear to the blue line. It trickles out to center ice. Here comes Shen back the other way. Into the Massena zone. Here's the shot, fired wide, around the boards for Trent Thomas. He'll pick it up, headman pass, and Smith just couldn't gather it in. Comes back into the penalty box, and we'll have a whistle and a face-off. 8:06 remaining in the middle period. We have a 1-1 tie hockey game. Massena Shenendehowa on the coach's corner scoreboard.
And that tying goal, Captain Danny Miller, his 9th of the year, 6:10 mark, and A.J. Tubolino on the assist. Great pass, great shot by Miller.
Rogers will take the face-off. Just outside the blue line. It comes bouncing back to the Massena line. And here's Rogers. There's going to be a penalty on Massena, no question about it, as O'Brien got tripped up going for the puck. Going to call it high stick?
Okay. Call it high stick.
What, on Shen? Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
I didn't see it, so I can't comment.
I saw the trip. I didn't see the penalty on Shenendehowa.
Oh, the Shenendehowa coaching staff are livid.
Now, there may have been a high stick on Giannetti, but there was certainly a tripping call on Massena right in front of us.
I did not see it, and evidently the other official, Jimmy Howard, didn't see it either because...
oh, boy.
Oh, here comes a misconduct.
Misconduct?
Yeah, we got a misconduct coming, too. And they're calling... It's Giannetti who's got the minor, and he also got 7.5 as he slammed the door. And referee Donnie Woods is going back across and positioning himself right in front of the Shenendehowa bench, and he's telling him, hey.
I didn't see the penalty on 15, but I did see a penalty on Massena that wasn't called. That was maybe after the other penalty. We have a whistle.
Yeah, we got another. We're going to have something else. We're going to have another. He's going to kick it right off the bench.
Tossed it.
Yeah, he's got a bench minor. I don't know. He gave a bench minor, and they keep yapping. They're going to be expelled.
They go with the misconduct. They got to have somebody to serve the penalty. So maybe he didn't get a bench minor.
Oh, possibly.
I don't know though. He came over to the scorer's table, and wow.
I don't know. There's 2 penalties up on the clock.
Oh boy, you're right. It was. Well, that's certainly, especially in a game like this, which really it's not a. All right, here's a shot, save made, as Chera makes the save on a shot from the point. Anyway, the Raiders have a 2-man advantage.
2-man advantage, and A.J. Tubolino just shaking his head. Shen got caught on a faulty clearing, put it right on Tubolino's stick, and he walked down and from about 30 feet out, but he put it right at the goaltender.
Off the face-off, comes back to Trent Thomas at the point, goes to Danny Miller. Miller moving it to Hadler. Hadler gets a quick snapshot, rebound, bouncing around in the slot, covered up by Chera, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
That's what I like to see. I like to see Hadler shoot the puck. He's probably got the hardest shot on the team. Shoot the puck. You got a 2-man advantage. Get those 2 guys around looking for rebounds. Don't waste all this time just passing the puck around.
Face-off inside Shen territory. Off the draw. Raiders win it. Back to the point. Good second effort by Trent Thomas. Hadler's quick shot is blocked, and it comes bouncing out to center ice. Miller back after it. There's Danny Miller. He'll flip it ahead. Trent Thomas. Whoops. A little trouble with it. Down to about 45 seconds in the first penalty. Hadler off the boards, and I think it hit the Massena bench, up into the bench, so the face-off will come at the dot. Control it in the zone, right?
Oh, 2-man advantage. You never want to throw it in. You don't want to throw that puck, and you want to carry it in. You got plenty of time. If they flood one side, put it up to the other side. You got walk the puck in, set it up. Don't dump it in with a 2-man advantage like that.
7:08 left in period number 2. We're tied at 1 on the coach's corner scoreboard. Massena, Shenendehowa. Shenendehowa ranked number 2 in the state, as far as we know.
The Raiders giving them all they want here this evening.
Now they're going to get the extra play. I thought they'd have to have a player in for the kid that had the misconduct.
Right.
Because he can't come out when his penalty's up.
No, he's in there for another 7.5.
Off the face-off. Raiders, Petrie has a poke checked away. It'll come back to Labarge. Labarge to Slade. He fires one right on. Rebound bouncing in front. Rogers trying to come up with it. He can't. Puck cleared back to the point. Labarge fakes the shot. Goes to Borden. Borden back to Labarge. He threw it away, and it's out to center ice. And Labarge makes a great play to break it up. Oh, boy. Here's Borden with it in his own zone. Oh, boy. Raiders have given up a goal when they were 2-man advantage once this year. We don't want to see it again. 1-1 tie hockey game. Puck back in the Shen zone. They can't clear it. Comes back to Slade. He cranks it up, fires it wide. One penalty is up, but the other one will be up momentarily. And the puck bounces out to center ice. Whistle blows.
There's another penalty. This is a good call, too. Hitting from behind. The guy that came out of the box, he ran over Eddie Slade from behind. There's no question that's a penalty. And the coaches are they were shaking their head over there, but I was going to yell, why didn't they call that one? But Jimmy Howard made the call from the other side, and it's a good call. No question. The player it's number 15 again. Janetti just got out of the box. It shouldn't have been Janetti. No, he's got the other. Who is it?
Moore.
Moore, yeah. Moore came out of the box, and Eddie Slade just inside the blue line was ready to handle the puck, and I'm not sure if he had touched it yet. It might have even called him for interference, but he drilled him from behind, and it's a hitting from behind call.
Now what do we got here? Hitting from behind. What is going on here?
I didn't hear that.
I'm making changes. Okay, well, they needed one more player out there for Shen. Off the face-off, Trent Thomas, poke checked away. Bounces deep in Massena territory. Back after Tubolino. Raiders still on another power play. They really couldn't get much going on that two-man advantage. Now it's dumped down inside Shen territory. Adam Smith racing in after it. Smith trying to flip it along the boards, gets tied up. Harrison comes up with it. He'll bang it on the other side, and it's going to be cleared down the ice by Shenendehowa. 1-1 tie hockey game. Massena Shenendehowa in the second period. Danny Miller bounces it ahead, has it knocked away, trying to get it back again. Here comes Albert in the zone. Albert gets by a check. He's behind the net, backhander. It's in behind. He hit the side of the net with it. It was a nice backhand shot, though. He gets tied up, and Miller picks up the puck. Here's Danny Miller, has it taken away by Albert, who lost his edge. Squirts free to Tubolino. Tubolino skates it out to center ice. Here comes Tubolino, taking it in the zone. Tubolino, he's got Smith, lines up the shot, the save made, rebound in the net as the goaltender Chera dropped it. Tubolino followed his shot, and it's 2-1 Massena.
A.J. Tubolino going about 165 feet as he picked up the puck deep in his own end along that right side. Outraced the defender at the red line and came in and out. It was actually a 3-on-1, Jerry. 3-on-1 on that right side. And from the dot on the right side, Tubolino elected to shoot and blasted a bullet. Chera got a piece of it, but gave up the rebound. Tubolino went to the net looking for his own rebound. And as Chera dropped it, he no sooner dropped it and it was in the net behind him.
And you know what that also was? A power play goal.
A power play goal, boy. Mark that, yes. Mark that baby down.
2-1 Massena leading with 5:23 left in the middle period.
The captains are coming to the fore tonight.
Boy, are they ever. Eddie Slade out there to take the face-off. And I don't know what they're doing here. Ready to play? I couldn't get the 29 seconds off the clock, apparently, that was left on the penalty. And off the face-off, puck to the Massena line, bounces high in the air, into the zone, knocked back out again. Picked up by Bobby Carl for Shenendehowa. He flips it across, into the zone it goes. They center it, knocked away by the Raiders. Raiders move it ahead, Petrie with it. Picks up the loose puck. Here's Petrie trying to backhand it deep in the zone. Zepi Ogene racing in after it. Ogene throws a check in the corner. Puck goes in behind the net, controlled by Massena. Raiders try to center, but it's intercepted. Bouncing around by the blue line. Finally, it's cleared down the ice. O'Brien racing for it. Swamp comes out to play it and clears it into the corner. Now it's stolen away. Bouncing in front. Swamp makes the save. The puck sits there, cleared in behind the net. Borden, he'll just ice it, but that's a good play, and whistle will blow, and the face-off will come back in the Massena zone.
Now, they announced Trent Thomas on the goal. I can't... my eyes don't deceive me. That was...
They're going to make the change right here.
A.J. Tubolino that scored that. There's no question. Yeah, it was Tubolino's goal. He was the only one around there.
So on the icing, the face-off will come back inside Massena territory. Harrison will face off against Rogers. Raiders lead at 2-1 with 4:37 left in the second period. Miller will take the face-off. Off the draw, puck bouncing in front. Here's Moore's shot. Leroy makes a save and holds on for the face-off. We'll do it again with 4:34 left in the second period. 2-1, Massena leads.
Time of that goal was the 9:37 mark of the period, and Captain A.J. Tubolino is 9th of the year, and as you say, a power play goal.
Off the face-off, puck comes to Bono. His shot doesn't get through. They bang at it. Raiders come up with it. Smith out to center ice, knocked away back to the Massena line. Miller circles, high off the glass, bouncing around. Trent Thomas can't control it. Harrison flips ahead to the Massena line. Rogers picks it up after Whitcup throws a check, goes back to Miller. Miller lost it off the end of his stick, has to come back for it. He was looking up before he had control, but here comes Trent Thomas, has it stolen away. But the puck comes back to Adam Smith in the corner. He'll flip it ahead, bouncing around. Here's a backhander, goes in behind the net. and into the corner it goes. Here's another shot, hits the side of the net, and it comes back to Thomas. He'll pick it up and slide it out to center ice. Whitcup, and it bounces off his stick up into the stands, and we're down to 3:53 left in the second period. A 2-1 lead for the Raiders on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
And it's been a while since this deep into the hockey game that the Raiders have been leading, and leading the number 2 ranked team in the state 2-1 with 3:53 left in this second period. That go-ahead goal, as we mentioned, A.J. Tubolino, his 9th of the year.
It's an unassisted goal off the face-off. In behind the net it goes. Puck picked up, or I should say Horan throws a check. Tubolino comes in to help out. Here's Tubolino moving it down the side. And I'll tell you what, he's playing, there's going to be a penalty on Horan again, as I don't know why he did that. He just came in with his elbows up, and
can't leave your feet like that.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you.
Right in front of the official. Play along the boards, and Patrick knows that's not a good penalty. The scrum with 2 or 3 players involved, and he came in late, and he left his feet, elbow up, and the official made the right call.
So that'll put Shenendehowa on the power play.
And their only goal, as earlier in the period, was a power play goal.
Adler will face off against Carl. Carl wins the draw back to the point. Murphy winds his shot, scores a goal. That went right through and nobody saw it, right in the net, and that ties it at 2.
That took 6 seconds after that penalty, and that's the type of shot you like to see. Shenendehowa won the draw, got it back to Murphy on that left point. He just kind of, no one pressured him. He worked his way towards the center of the ice, had all kinds of time. He wound up in a nice slow bullet that Leroy never saw till he pulled it out of the back of the net. Beautiful goal, all starting when they won the draw, and it's finished when it ended up the puck in the net.
Here's a 2-2 tie. Here comes Rogers back from Massena, gets tied up, and the puck cleared back to the neutral zone. Whitcup flips it, knocked down by Trent Thomas. That would have been a high stick, but Shen touches it first in their own end. Puck in behind the net, picked up on the defense and around the boards and down the ice. I don't know if it'll go far enough for icing or not. No, it does not. As Whitcup picks it up, flips it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. Here's a shot way wide, goes to Smith on the other side. He'll let it go to the blue line, but not out. Here's another shot, and Swamp has to make a pad save. Out to center ice. Oh, it hit Rogers in the back of the skate. Comes across the blue line. Hard check thrown by Miller. Albert picks up the loose puck. Feeds it side of the net, backhander. Nice save made by Swamp. Puck in the corner. Picked up by Whitcup. Whitcup just dumps it out to center ice and down the ice. That'll be icing against Massena. No, the goaltender came out to play it. We got a penalty. That's what the whistle is. And it's going to go against Shen. Behind the play, Harrison will go into the box for elbowing.
Number 17, Matt Harrison, again, a frustration, foolish penalty, and Jimmy Howard making the call. The Raiders back in the power play. That tying goal, the 11:28 mark, Ryan Murphy from Bobby Carl. 2-2 hockey game at the 11:28 we mentioned. We got 2:35 left in the period.
Faceoff will come inside Shen territory. Raiders back on the power play. Rogers out there with Petrie, and here's a shot by Petrie, backhander just wide, goes into the corner. Battling for it behind the net, Rogers. Slade, his shot goes wide, comes back to the point. Labarge tees it up, fires it wide. And that wasn't very low to the ice either, was it, Coach? Now the puck stolen away. Borden loses the blue line. Carl's going to skate in all by himself. Shot, score! Short-handed goal. And Shen takes the lead, 3-2.
That is the 6th short-handed goal that the Raiders have been victimized this year. Play along the boards in the offensive end, and the Raider defenseman on the strong side made a decision, and it wasn't the right one, wasn't able to keep it in, and was that Bobby Carl that streaked away down that right side, and he, from just about the hash marks, he ripped a wrist shot that Leroy Swamp had no chance. High glove side, and just about blew the back of the net out.
Off the face-off. Massena's still on the power play here as Shen dumps it down the ice. Swamp plays it into the corner. Puck cleared in behind the net, and it'll come to Hadler. Hadler will leave it for Tubolino. Here comes Tubolino. Steps by the check. Tubolino will dump it from the blue line. Around the boards, racing in after it is Adam Smith. Smith trying to center, but it's stolen away and dumped down the ice again. Swamp will play it. flipping it ahead for Trent Thomas. Thomas circles out of his own zone. Here comes Thomas building up the head of steam. Gets by one check. He'll backhand it, but not very hard in the zone. It's knocked down, and the puck is dumped down the ice. This power play has been very, very poor from Massena, as they haven't been able to get started and, in fact, gave up a shorthanded goal.
I think they're still stunned by that fifth shorthanded goal, and they can't get
Tubolino coughs up the puck in the corner, looking to tie it up. There's a battle for it, and the whistle will blow. A good job there tying it up by Eric Harding.
That go-ahead goal, Bobby Carl, who had just assisted on the second goal moments before from Chris Buno, coming at the 12:48 mark of the second period to put the Plainsmen up 3-2.
1:11 left in the middle period, 3-2. Shenendehowa on the coach's corner scoreboard off the draw. Here's the shot. Nope, it's poke check. Back to the blue line and out to center ice. That takes care of the power play. Not a very good one for Massena as they give up a shorthanded goal. But here come the Raiders. Kyle Cameron will backhand it deep in Shen territory. In behind the net it goes. There's a battle for it. Zepiogene trying to poke it free. Bounces back to the blue line. Horan will flip it to Cameron. Cameron, takes a check. The puck squirts free, and here comes Shen back the other way. Knocked away on the headman pass by Labarge. Bouncing puck goes back in the Shen zone. The Plainsmen pick it up but don't clear. Here's a chance. Zepiogene. Puck knocked down. Comes around the boards. Horan stops it by the blue line. Winds up. His shot goes off a leg, deflected. Right across the goal mouth by Cameron. Slade back to the point. Here's a shot by Labarge. Doesn't get through. They got a man breaking, and they're going to get him the puck. No, Leroy comes out and plays it. Back to the blue line. They got an open net. Leroy makes a save out by the dot, and the Raiders come back the other way with 8 seconds left. Zepiogene backhands it across the blue line. It's not cleared with 2 seconds left. It'll come back to the Massena line. Here's the drive knocked down. The whistle blows. The period ends, and Shenendehowa with a 3-2 lead. So after no goals in the first period, we saw 5 in the second period, and the Plainsmen have a 3-2 lead over the Massena Red Raiders. Raider hockey on WMSA. Shenendehowa. Winner goes to the championship. The loser goes to the consolation tomorrow. And on the Ice Hawks custom screen printing scoreboard, 3-2 Shen. Off the face-off, Bono dumps in the Massena zone. Swamp just turns that one aside. Miller picks it up, cranks it around the boards. Smith trying to get a piece of it. He deflects it all the way down the ice. That'll be icing against Massena. And talking about Ice Hawks custom screen printing scoreboard, they've been providing the T-shirts for our players of the game, but also they now have an embroidery machine, although I think they're in Florida learning how to use it right now. I guess if you got to go learn how to use something, Florida's a place to do it this time of year.
It's a lot better than Minneapolis right now, I'll tell you.
I know they're going. I don't know if they're there right now. Anyway, here's a shot off the face-off. The puck goes in the corner. Bouncing around behind the net. Shen controls. They try to center. Back to the point. Here's a shot. It's blocked. Here comes Rogers. Rogers trying to chase it down. He took it in the ankles. I don't know if he had much speed left. But now the puck dumped all the way down the ice. That should go for icing, except Swamp will play it into the corner. I guess they waved the icing off. Raiders move it ahead. Here's Miller. Trying to hit Smith, but it's a little bit too far. Knocked away in the corner. Rogers with it. Takes a whack at it and backhands it deep in Shen territory as the Raiders will make a line change. Here come the Plainsmen. Carl can't catch that. That'll be icing against Shenendehowa. And the faceoff will move back inside their territory.
Coach Craig Sidden has been working with the goaltenders, and I think he's finally gotten through to Leroy about being more assertive, more aggressive. The last several games, you notice how he's coming out, and before he'd sit back and indecisive. Now he makes up his mind. Whether it's a right mover, he makes up his mind and reacts.
Tubolino will take the face-off right side in the Shen zone. Played 10 seconds shy of a minute in the third period. Off the draw, Shenendehowa, they got the man breaking, and they're going to take it in. It's O'Brien, skates in, shoots, and scores.
That's that play I was telling you about, Jerry.
Yep.
Right off the draw, it's a planned play. As soon as the puck is dropped, O'Brien breaks, and they try to win the draw back to the defenseman. All he does is shoot it. If he has an opening, he shoots it on the ice. If not, he just lofts it up in the air, and it was right up over both Raider defensemen as they stood at the blue line. O'Brien raced to the puck, caught it at just over the red line, walked right in, and put a great deke on goaltender Leroy Swamp. That's a set play, and the Raiders haven't caught on to that thing, and they used it last year.
Here comes Tubolino, busting by, gets a shot off and fires it wide. Back to the blue line. Maxwell keeps it in. Goes to Petrie. Petrie into the circle, gets it back. Here's a shot, and the save made with a shoulder by goaltender Chera. Raiders down by 2 now. 13:45 left in this third period.
That was a big save by Chera. That puck was headed top right-hand corner, and he did get the shoulder on it. Big save.
Why is the face-off coming outside the zone?
Oh, that's a blown call. He maintained he didn't make the save, but he did. That face-off should be inside. They just made the wrong call.
Face-off will be outside the zone. Tubolino will take the face-off against Caruso. Raiders trying to barge through, but Hunter's got it. But Hadler's bothering him in the corner. Hunter lost his edge. Puck bouncing around at the blue line. It'll move just out to center ice. Picked up by Maxwell. He throws it to Tubolino. Takes it across. Tubolino, nice move. Shot. Oh, big save. Again, Chera makes a big save, and the puck bounces out to center ice. Here's Borden. Has it poked away. And here into the zone comes Shenendehowa right across the goal mouth, but it's wide. Picked up by Hadler. Hadler out to center ice. Tubolino, he'll slide it down the ice. That'll be icing against Massena. So the Raiders with 2 great opportunities. The first one, actually 2 good saves by Chera.
That fourth goal for the Plainsmen, the 1-minute mark. Sean O'Brien, the second of the night from Edson and Bobby Carl. We mentioned that set play. We talked about it in the period before, and they ran it again and were very successful.
Yeah. Miller in the corner. Gets tied up. The puck back to the blue line down the ice. And that shouldn't be an icing because it was Shenendehowa who threw it back there in the Shen zone. Kyle Cameron trying to put some pressure on. Around the boards it goes. Toward the blue line, out to center ice, knocked down by Miller. Miller steps by the check. Trying to go to Cameron now. He can't come up with it. Here's Zepiogene, and he'll flip it right back inside, where Moore will pick it up for Shenendehowa. Plainsmen with a 2-goal advantage. And they'll clear it, intercepted by Miller. Miller will take it across and dump it in the corner. Here's Zepiogene. The Raiders try to center it. It bounces around. It'll come back to the blue line. Raiders on a line change. And here comes Harrison into the Massena zone. Gets by the D. His shot, he fires it wide. Takes a weird bounce all the way back to the blue line. And it trickles out to center ice. Picked up there by Shen at their own line. They'll move it ahead. Labarge intercepts, takes it across the red line, dumps it deep into Shenendehowa territory. Flipped around the boards. Here come the Plainsmen. It goes off a stick up into the stands, and we'll have a face-off outside the zone.
They've got 4 or 5 guys forwards on this team. They, meaning Shenendehowa, Jerry, that can really shoot the puck. Guys like Harrison, wrist shots I'm talking about now. O'Brien, Carl, and Giannetti, these guys can, it's a quick wrist shot with a lot of smoke on it.
Rogers will take the face-off, wins the draw. Thomas bounces it in the zone, going to bounce right on, and Chera grabs it and holds on for the face-off.
Those are the kinds you want to come out and play those on the short up. You don't want to sit back. It's like an infielder letting the ball play you, and Chera sat back on his haunches, and fortunately for him, it didn't take a
weird bounce. Off the face-off, Rogers trying to get it to Smith. He doesn't. Puck picked up by Brian Hunter. Hunter and Trent Thomas go together. Rogers helps out, gets a stick on it. They battle in the corner. Hunter will try it back the other way. He's still got the puck. Strong skater to Giannetti, out to center ice. Ian Maxwell bangs it ahead. Rogers trying to come up with it. He and Hunter go together. Rogers, and they tie each other up, and the puck flipped back to the Massena line. Whitcup. But I think we're going to have a penalty for high sticking against Massena. Rogers.
That is. I mean, he and number 15. Who is that? That's 15. That's Giannetti. Yeah, they were locked together and both trying to be strong on their sticks. And as Giannetti went down, he kind of knocked Rogers' arms up, and the stick went up, and he called him for high stick, and that's it.
Well,
don't like that call at all.
Coaches always argue for the next call. I think De La Roca is getting it.
Oh, I guess so. That was a real snarly call.
Here comes Harrison across the blue line. He'll dump it in the Massena zone. In behind the net. Miller throws a check. He gets tied up. The puck's underneath him. Here's a wraparound attempt, but it doesn't get there. And it'll be dumped down the ice by Jeremy Hadler. Puck around the boards. Albert after it. Albert skates out of his zone. Nice smooth skater, isn't he?
He is. Excellent
Harrison
skater.
can't see the pass. Miller will crank it back the other way. And that's stopped by Chera.
Coach De La Rocca thinks he's heading for prep school next year. He's only a junior.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Albert, little problem, but he recovers, takes it behind the net. Still 4-2 for Shen. They've gotten one here early in the third. And here comes Hitchko. He's going to break in all alone, skates in front and fires it up over the net into the wall. And he had Leroy back in the net, too.
He had him back in the net, and he outweighted. Leroy started to go down well before the shot was taken, and Hitchko saw that. And again, you like to see he fired a little high, but he was looking and reading. He waited. And as Leroy went down, he went upstairs, and he was about a foot too high. But great pass, diagonal pass across ice, and Hitchko was all alone over here on the blue line.
Off the face-off. Puck slides back toward the blue line. Turnaround shot's blocked. Raiders clear it out to center ice. Edson, he'll drop it for Hunter. Hunter will crank it around the boards. And, it takes a funny bounce out by the blue line, but the Raiders pick it up and dump it down the ice. And make no mistake, this is a good team, this Shenendehowa team.
Yes, they are.
And, Massena had gathered the momentum in that second period. They didn't panic. They just kept, and they played good and scored a couple of nice goals to take the lead. And Tom Rogers is out of the penalty box. Here comes Hadler. Hadler slides it as it poked away, and it'll roll in on Chera. He'll hold on for the face-off. 9:39 left in the third period. IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard says 4-2 Shen.
Yeah, the Raiders led 2-1 with up to the 9:37 mark. 6.5 minutes to go in that second period, leading 2-1, and then 3 straight goals by the Plainsmen. 2 late in that second period, 1 early in the third.
Eddie Slade to take the draw off the face-off. It bounces in front, and it's fired wide. Zeppi Ogene couldn't get a shot. Back to Borden at the point, and it's knocked away from him. Here comes Carl. He's the guy that victimized him last time. Carl takes it in, but Miller's back this time, takes the puck away. We have a whistle. What do we got? High sticking on Miller?
Yeah, that's the same type of call. He, oh boy, I don't see it.
I'll tell you, they were pretty poor in the last period against Shenendehowa. It's gone the other way this period.
Yeah, that's.
So another penalty, and this time against Miller, and that hurts because he's the major penalty killer for Massena.
High sticking call.
Off the face-off, Murphy with it. Flips it to the slot. Here's Carl, his shot, and that's wide. Bounces back to the circle, back to Murphy at the point. Here's Murphy. Takes it into the corner. Borden behind. Kind of knocks him down. Puck picked up by Maxwell. Doesn't clear it, however. They go across to Carl. He and Smith go together. Smith knocks him down, but the puck bounces behind the net. Into the slot. It's clear to the blue line out to center ice. About a minute left in the power play. Puck bouncing around. Carl with it. He'll flip it on the wing. O'Brien. He'll drop it. Albert shot. Fired it wide. Puck whistles into the corner. Picked up by Maxwell. Has it taken away, but stays with it. Now bounces behind the net. Behind, they move it to the dot. Here's the pass in front. It's going to come to Tubolino, though, and he'll move it ahead. Tubolino can't clear the zone. Here's Carl stealing the puck, and it gets away from him. It comes to the Raiders. They do dump it out to center ice. Oh, Hadler almost had a steal at the blue line. Down to 20 seconds in the power play. And in behind the net, it's Evan Labarge. Labarge on the wing. Raiders dump it. Down the ice it goes. Bono stops it. With 10 seconds left in the power play, it goes off a leg back into Shen territory. Raiders look like they're going to kill this one off. Here's Harrison as Miller's back into the play. Harrison in behind the net, steps around, gets a weak shot off, and Swamp makes the save and holds on. So 2 good penalty kills in this third period for Massena. But they can't be scoring. It's tough.
That's right. You're eating away a 15-minute period. You're taking away 1/5 of that period with having to kill a penalty. And when you're trailing by 2 goals, that doesn't bode well for you.
Face off left side. Off the draw. Here's the shot. Nice save by Swamp. Harrison trying to follow up on the rebound. Horan flips it ahead. Not out. Here's Bono. Shot. Save. Bouncing around. Swamp covers it up and holds on. as actually his defenseman was, boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, Leroy was having trouble not only with the shot, but with his own defenseman who was tangled up and preventing him from getting to the puck. But he was able to muscle his way out there and grab it.
Off the faceoff, it's poked out to center ice. Back after Bono, flips to the Massena line. Borden's there to pick it up and dump it deep in Shen territory where Edson gets it behind the net. He'll rip it around, bouncing in the corner. Thomas gets a piece of it. Now it's back in behind the net. They move it from D to D, and Trent Thomas steps in front of the pass, but he can't get the shot off, and back comes Shen. Right around the Massena defenseman. Here comes Moore busting in. He's got Hitchko. Moore to Hitchko. Save made by Swamp. I think he got it with a mask and then gloved it.
Great save and a great play by Hitchko and Moore. Moore down that right side. As you said, he blew by the Massena defenseman, created a 2-on-1, went deep down in that right side below the goal line, and Hitchko came right down the slot, put it right on the tape. Great shot and a great save by Leroy.
Here comes Danny Miller with a puck. Headman all the way down the ice, going to be right on net. Save made, and the goaltender comes out, and it's knocked down by Eddie Slade, and he had to wait for Shen to touch it. He did. Now they have the puck. Puck to the blue line, not out of the zone. Maxwell keeps it in, flips it. Here's a pass right down the middle, but it's intercepted there and clear to the blue line. Miller winds up and dumps it in the corner behind the net for Zepi Ogene. Ogene trying to bounce it to himself. He's got it. Ogene flips it to Eddie Slade, but it's knocked away. And here they come again into the zone. Comes Shenendehowa. Here's a pass right across the goal mouth. It'll come all the way back to the blue line, out to center ice. Here's Slade with it. Has it stolen away. A little bit of hooking going on there.
Big time hooking.
Big time hooking. Is that the NHL hook?
That's the NHL hook, and they got away with it again.
Yeah, they're supposed to be calling those this year, but they haven't really been too much. Now the puck in the zone. Shen controls in their own end. They'll flip it on the backhand. Maxwell knocks it down. Or not, it's Whitcup. Whitcup flips ahead to Tubolino, trying to snake it by the defenseman, but it's knocked away. Comes back to the Massena line. Whitcup battling for it there. Ahead it goes. Petrie. Petrie will dump it off to Labarge. Labarge flips it. No, he's going to hold on to it. Moves it across the red line. Dumps it to the blue line. Back it goes to the Massena line. Whitcup with it. 5.5 left. Whitcup, just barely got it out of the zone. Petrie flipping ahead. Hadler trying to barge his way through. Both Shen defensemen go down. Hadler gets a short side shot. He was just in too deep. Now Shenendehowa back the other way, but Whitcup's there to intercept and flip it ahead to the blue line. Back it comes to O'Brien. O'Brien and Bono break in. Here's O'Brien's pass. Whitcup blocks it. The puck goes into the corner. Good play by Whitcup. Hadler picking up the loose puck, trying to move it out of the zone. And we got a penalty for cross-checking on Bono.
I tell you, Raiders got a break. I think Shen just hit the goal post. Jerry, how many 2-on-1s have you seen tonight both ways?
Too many?
There's got to be. Shenendehowa must have had a dozen, and the Raiders have probably 5 or 6. But unreal.
5:09 left in the third period. On the coach's corner scoreboard, it's 4-2 Shenendehowa. Raiders on a power play. Got to have a goal here.
No question. They need one big time right here.
Off the face-off. Puck controlled by Petrie. Petrie has it knocked away. Harrison dumps it in the zone. Miller fell down. The shot comes in on net weakly, and it'll be Alan Borden with it. Borden has it knocked away, and then it's dumped into the corner. Borden picks it up off the boards. He'll flip it ahead to Petrie. Petrie breaking down the right side. Into the zone he goes. Edson digging for it with Petrie in the corner. Slade's in there fishing for it. It comes bouncing free. Petrie gets knocked down, gets back up again, bounces it back, but nobody there, and Shen will clear it down the ice. Swamp out of his net. He'll play it ahead for Borden. Borden flips it out to center ice. Here comes Tubolino. Steps by the check. Flips it ahead to Miller. Miller barges his way in. Here's Miller. He gets hog-tied. Down he goes, gets back up again. Hard check thrown Smith. He's going to be called for the penalty.
Adam Smith, they might call him for charging. No question about that one. And it was a good call.
Boarding.
Yeah, he's calling boarding. And negate the penalty. There's 30 seconds left in the Shenendehowa penalty, but that will be neutralized, and Shenendehowa will have a minute power play.
4:09 left in the third period. 4-2. Shen leading Massena. Off the draw. Bouncing puck at the blue line, picked up by the Plainsmen. They'll bang it ahead. O'Brien's going to bust in again. Here's the shot. Swamp makes the save. Again, the same play. And the Raiders just haven't been able to figure that out or something. Of course, it was Hadler that time, not a defenseman, but still. Here's the puck in behind the net. Controlled by the Plainsmen. And they go down the ice. Carl steps by the check, gets a shot off, and Swamp makes the save.
Again, Bobby Carl got, when the Plainsmen defeated the Raiders last year 2-1. Bobby Carl had one of those goals. I think he had the game-winning goal.
Okay.
And he's a smoothie, not too big, but possesses great wheels and great hands and an outstanding shot.
Massena's going to call a timeout here with 3:40.
That speed, they burned Massena so many times tonight with that blinding speed.
Tubolino off the face-off. Puck bouncing in front, clear to the blue line, not out. Now coming back is Trent Thomas, tying up the puck, but it comes back to the blue line, trickles out to center ice. And it's controlled by Shen. He'll take it across. Alber with it. Alber in the corner. He gets tied up by Miller, flips it back to the blue line. Bono, we have a whistle. And now Alber's taking a shot at Miller. And he just took another shot at him.
Well, they're both going to go. Alber should get a little extra because I do believe he put a couple extra shots in here. We'll see how benevolent these officials are, what kind of call we get. There's a holding call for one and a roughing call for the other. Probably called.
No, they called matching minors.
Yeah, Miller for hold, I bet, and Alber for roughing.
So the net result is really nothing,
right,
except that we got two good defensemen sitting in the box.
Right, I was thinking maybe there'd be a little, they could have been a little more severe, but I think it was
a little after the whistle action there. Yeah.
Good heads-up call by Donnie Wood, I do believe.
Harrison will take the face-off against Tubolino. 3:14 left. Off the draw, bouncing back toward the blue line. Turnaround shot knocked away, and the Raiders dump it down the ice. Chera leaves it.
Penalties to Shenendehowa's number 2, Pat Schnellberg.
Here comes Shen. Bono takes it in the Massena zone, dumps it in front. It'll trickle in behind the net now. Hitchko after it. About 10 seconds left of the man advantage. They move it around. Here's a shot from the sharp angle. Rebound right across the goal mouth. Into the corner, picked up by Tubolino. And he'll skate it behind the net. Here's Tubolino, flipping it ahead. Raiders get the man back, Smith that is, and it trickles into Shen territory. 2.5 left in the third period. 4-2 Shenendehowa. The Raiders have played a tough game. Oh, Rogers almost knocked it down. Here comes Shen. Moore into the zone. Cranks it up. Save made. Rebound goes in the corner. Another shot. That's wide. Puck goes to O'Brien. He kicks it ahead, but the Raiders will intercept. Here's Smith looking for the headman. Trent Thomas goes by him down the ice, and icing will be the call on Massena.
Trent Thomas in behind the defense, and Adam Smith was doing the right thing, saw him, looked up, and tried to hit him with that lead pass and was off target by about 3 feet. If he's able to put it on the tape, Thomas is home free from the blue line.
And then we have an interesting game, maybe.
Is right.
Face off left side. Raiders win the draw, clear it ahead of the blue line. Not out of the zone, however. Puck dumped in behind the net. O'Brien leaves it side of the net. They move it in front. Here's the shot knocked down behind. And Labarge cranks it around the boards for Thomas. Thomas can't put a stick on it. Out by the blue line, here's the shot, and Swamp will leave it side of the net. Raiders look to clear it, and they finally do and move it out to center ice. Here's Hunter with it. Hunter will dump it in the zone. Whitcup picks it up, flips it ahead, not out of the zone. Bouncing back to Smith. Smith looking for Trent Thomas, hits him with a pass. There's Thomas, stick handling across the blue line. And they both go down, both players. Back to the blue line, kept in at the point. No! Here comes Hadler back as the puck comes bouncing around with 1:22. Net's empty, by the way. Here comes Hadler with a puck. Hadler steps by a check. We have a whistle. And we're going to have a holding.
Went to a hockey game and a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Broke out. Thomas and Carl were.
Miller's out of the box. Thomas is going to get the holding. He was down on the ice.
I got Bobby Carl's got to go also.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, it's there's going to be one of each, but maybe it isn't Carl. I thought it was Bobby Carl that.
No, apparently not.
Oh.
Okay.
All righty. I thought they were both entwined and each as guilty as the other one, but
well, that'll with 1:15 left, Raiders will be on the penalty kill. Tubolino has it knocked away. They got a man in front. He's knocked down. Adler comes up with a puck, flips it into the corner. Picked up there by Harrison. Harrison feeds it behind the net. Bouncing around. Adler flips to Miller. Miller cranks it, not out of the zone. Murphy's got a man in the slot. Shot fired it wide. Comes back to Murphy with 50 seconds left. His shot knocked down. Here comes Miller. Miller's going to skate it. Ahead it goes to Tubolino. Cross the blue line. Back to Miller. Oh, he almost had it in front of the net. Good try. Now the puck cleared to the blue line. Here's Moore on the empty net. He's going to try to fire it in the empty net. Tubolino takes him down, and that'll be it right there. With 30 seconds left, the whistle will blow, and that'll be a penalty for tripping. Saved a goal.
Yeah, saved a goal. A.J. Tubolino left his feet, and I don't know why Carl or Moore didn't shoot the puck yet. There was no goaltender. I guess he was trying to get a little closer, but great hustle by A.J. Tubolino coming back and left his feet sprawling and knocked Moore off his pins.
De La Rocca's yelling. I don't know what he's yelling. I mean, he's ahead by 2 goals.
He probably wants a penalty shot. Is what he's. I'm thinking that's what he wants.
Raiders have a 2-man disadvantage now. Puck controlled out by the blue line, picked up by Smith. Now we got another whistle.
I got Miller and
slashing.
Yeah. Miller and Albert, I believe. Or no, is it just Miller? I don't want to make that call again. Yeah, it's just Miller. Now that's you don't like to see that type of penalty late in the game because it's and all Albert was doing. He just pointed to the scoreboard. You know, it's you take a slashing penalty with 24 seconds left to go, and it doesn't send a good message if you're trailing 4-2, and they're going to send Danny Miller to the locker room right now. He got a misconduct, that's why.
Raiders clear the puck with 20 seconds left. Puck in the zone, Buono. Into the Massena zone it goes. Here's a shot. Swamp makes a save. Rebound is wide. Puck along the boards, back to the blue line. They move it to Buono. Bono shot, save made, and Swamp holds on with 2 seconds left.
Well, it's a valiant performance for the Raiders here tonight. They battled tooth and nail for most of this game to the number 2 ranked team in the state, but coming up a little short here.
2 seconds left. They'll drop the puck and get this thing over with. Hadler will take the face off.